Okay, we got done all the porting here on the heads. The intake I'll have to work on later. Okay, so this here is what they look like after they're all cleaned up. So that's your porting. So what I'm going to do is see if the valve seats are any good. This is the front head. Grab the front valve. Put them in the hole. Look up the light. See if there's any light going through the port. Make sure the valve job is good. Okay, I see no light coming through the port when you rotate it, so it's good. Of course, I got the light on camera, which doesn't help you. Trust me, there's no light going through. So I'm going to do the same thing again. So if you turn off the camera light, you look up to the port, and if you crack the valve, you can see how I get light through there. So when you rotate it, you don't want to see no light, especially on the intakes. Okay, the valves look good. Okay, so that part's good. Okay, now we're going to put a 585 cam or better in here. I don't know what these things are set up for. So we're going to take our valve springs, we're going to do a chucking. So it looks like the lower collar just sits flat. So just grab me a couple springs here. Grab my scale. Let's go get some readings. Usually Evos and twin cams have tons and tons of clearances, so it's not really a problem putting them together with coil bind. That's going to drop at some point. Okay. It's like it's an automotive style spring where you got a dual spring with a dampener in the middle. The dampener's that flat wire in the middle. It's actually another spring, but anyway, these sit flat on the head, so we just measure each flat. So what I'm going to do is pick the device up, stick it in here, and get a measurement. If you use your caliper, use a 6-inch scale, your choice. Coil bind is called coil bind, like a solid. Right there is solid. I mean, it's not how tight you can tighten it, just to quits moving. Then you can measure it. Okay, about 1085 or so. There's that one. Let's see what this one is. There. And this one, slightly more. It's a solid 1.100. So at least they're nice and consistent, right? Typical. All right, so we know what our clearance is. We don't know what our spring tension is. So next thing is to find the spring tension tester. It's in here someplace. It looks like this thing right here. Take our two springs we're just screwing with and go over here and do some more measurements. Now if I knew what all these springs are supposed to be, I wouldn't have to do quite as much work. Okay, you keep one from dropping and the other spring takes off and goes around the block somewhere. I'm having trouble with dual springs today. Alright, there's the collar. There's the spring. Of course, now I gotta blow it off. You can't have a dirty spring, heaven forbid. If I had a nice woody floor, I'd have to clean off and solve it or something to get rid of all the crap. But being a clean floor, just dirty with dirt, just blow it off. Okay, so take our spring, stick it up on here, rotate this where I can see something with it. Figures the edges are not where you can see anything at. Okay. So we want to see what the tension is on this thing right there. First one gets the coil bind. When all of a sudden the needle goes jumps, that's coil bind. Right about in there. So it's 450 or 80 pounds. Yeah, it's about 490-ish or so. 480, 490. It's way here in the back so I can't see it. Okay, so if you figure you got 1.1 for coil bind, so you can't put this in there anymore. You figure you got a 600 lift cam and you want 50 thou clearance at 650. So that means 1.750 is your installed height. So you're around to 1.750, which is 1 3/4 inches. There's one. Where's my number at? It's dark over here. It's dropping on the floor. What the hell? Everything else goes on the floor. Trying to see my number. It's dark, so I can't see. That's around 800 right there. It's about 750. We're in the ballpark. Of course, it's dark as hell. Makes it hard to see. Good thing I can see in the dark. Yeah, I can see a lot better now. Yeah, we're just over 3/4. So, right now we are roughly 1,780 or so. And it looks like we're about 185 on the seat, which is quite a bit. Where'd it go? There you go. So around 185 on the seat. That'll be like 180 when you drop back to 1.8 installed height. Most installed heights around 8 to 825. So that means you got enough in here to do a 625 lift cam probably. Because you go 800 minus 1 is 7, minus 50 is 750. Yeah, we had that. What did I do wrong? I don't know. Math's fucked up today. Alright, so I did that one. That's close enough. One's enough. My numbers are all screwed up in my head right now. It's not because it's too late. It's only 11 o'clock. It's early around here. Okay, so if we got 100, and we have 800 installed height, that's 700 thou difference. It was in my book anyway. You take out 50 off, that means 650. So you got 650 lift potential on these springs. And they have roughly about 180 on the seat. Pretty damn stiff. They're probably only rated for 600 lift, but there's more room. So if you want to make sure I did the numbers right in my head, grab your old calculator out. So you have 1.8 installed height. You subtract the coil bind, 1.1 equals 700. And you take off the 50 for extra clearance, and you got 650. See, minus point. So 5 is 50 thou equals 0.65, 650. So these springs have enough clearance for 650. That's probably not what they're rated for, but that's what the real world numbers are. At least on these two. More likely the other two are the same. Okay, so we don't have no problem running the 585 cam in this motor. Next thing I check is our coil bond or our valve to valve clearance, which is over here. Get this out of my way. Okay, you figure any kind of a decent cam is going to have about 225 intake lift and probably 200 exhaust, let's say. Okay, this is exhaust. So you pick a spot to measure from and you open it up a couple hundred thou from your number. So where am I at? Low number, we're about 840. So you go down to 640 or so. Pushing pretty hard on that. About that much. The intake, we're going to give it a, 225 at least. So you figure out your measurement down here. You can't see very well, can you? Pick a spot to measure from. I'm going to measure from the top of the keeper groove this time. We're about 920-ish. So if you go a little over 700. Where was I at? That's about 930. Yeah, roughly. The valve hit right there. Do you hear the hit? Hear the hit? So it hits the valve down there at 670 from 940. 280 something thousand where it hits. That's nice. Okay, we're going to back it off to my number I want, which is roughly about 225. What was I at? 930. 730 would be 200. A little bit over 700 would be 225. Okay, there's about 230. Now you spin it around. You look at how much clearance you got. You can see how the exhaust is really, really high and the intake is low. So I think I got the exhaust clearance measured wrong. I'm going to remeasure the exhaust. About 930 in the high spot. There's 730. There you go. Looks a lot better now. So you see a little gap in there between the valves. Right here. That's your clearance. So we got clearance for 225 on the intake and 200 on the exhaust. And you could probably push that to about 240 on the intake if you wanted to. Be really, really close, but yeah, whatever. If you're not living dangerous, what fun is it, right? Okay, so it's made up for a pretty good cam. So you can have you can put like a 640 S&S in there, I think. I think the TDs on a 640 weren't that high, so I'll have to go look it up numbers though. So basically, you figure 225, 230 on the intake, 200 exhaust, up to 650 lift. You're golden. It'll fit. Now, I'm not sure what the retainer to seal clearance is because I didn't measure that yet. That's the next thing you have to know. Because you want to make sure your valve seals will live. So right now we got about 830 clearance. Put the keeper in the hole. Okay, the keeper sticks way down below the keeper groove. So does it stick way down out of the collar is the next question. I'm going to measure the other head real quick, make sure the numbers are about the same. 1750. 1750. Yeah, they're pretty equal. Looks like Harley cut them pretty close. Yeah, they're with about 10 or 15 of each other. Okay, so that means all the numbers work on all the valves. Okay, so what I want to know right now is how far is what sits down lower, the keeper or the collar? And you can see how the keeper looks like it's going to be the part that's going to hit. The collar is just a tick below the keeper, but the valve seal is thinner than smaller than the ID of the collar. This is bigger than what the seal lip is, so the seal won't hit on this, it'll hit on the keeper. Drop that again. I'm good for dropping tools. Okay, so what all of that means is the hard dimension between the bottom of this keeper and our seal is our clearance. That's what that means. So that's how much lift you got room for. So in this case we have about 700. So you need at least 30 for clearance. So that means you got 670 clearance. So once again, you're good for about 650 lift on this motor with these heads. Yep, about the same. Okay, so there you go. That's your dimensional clearance. So make sure you wrote all those numbers down how to set them. If you fast forward through the video, you missed all that. Okay, so now we're ready to do some assembly work. Assembly is pretty quick and simple here, because we don't have to do any extra work here. Get a little assembly lube. Something Harley figured you didn't need. At least not very good assembly lube. Okay, this is the front head. Valve goes down. Always like to rotate the valves as they go in to make sure that it disperses the oil evenly. Make sure they work nice and freely. They do. And that head's ready to go together. Okay. The intake. Okay, do the next one. Go. Alright. Who's going to be the first dumbass to say I'm slamming stuff on the workbench? Remember, these came all scratched up to me. Going on my steel bench doesn't hurt it. Okay, so I have my spring compressor, which is right over there. This big ass thing up here. See, it's way up there. Move this around over here, out of my way. So I need access to my springs. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and install this. Stick that on there. Stiff springs. So what I do is I hold the keeper of my finger on the bottom, like that. Oop, push it up into the valve tip. Pops in the groove, you hold it there. And you take the other one, then you drop it down on top of the valve stem. It drops right in the spot where you want it. It's good. You don't need no grease, no fancy junk. Hard part's closing it. Okay, you want to make sure they're in there equally. Make sure you don't point it toward you while you're looking at it. If it hits you, it's going to hurt, especially these heavy duty ones. These things really hurt hard when they get hit. You know, when the valve stem doesn't come through the hole evenly, it goes on to one side. I move the compressor over a little bit and then I get to go in the center. So when it's in the center like this, you can get it in there a lot easier. Otherwise, you got to have a screwdriver over there to wedge it, which takes a lot more effort and work. Like this one here, it's too far down, so I have to, not too far up, so I have to try to push it in there. Hear it under tension there. Side to side was good, but up and down was way off. So I got to kind of push down with the collar of my thumb a little bit when I release, otherwise you're going to pull the keeper right out. Little tricks you learn. Alright, those ones are in there evenly. My two important tools, my medium screwdriver and my hammer. Give them a little bit of whack on each keeper to make sure that they are in there good. These are heavy ass springs, so you got to hit them pretty hard. You can even move it all. Okay, so that head is assembled. That's what it looks like. So there's the, you can see a lot of the valve, which means it's got a big ass port. And now in exhaust, you can see a lot of exhaust valve up in there also now underneath there because it's opened up. And you can also, it's been cut open so you can flow better, so you can see it a lot better too. The short side's been raised up a little bit and widened. Alright, that one's done. We'll do our next one. Good. Low one again. Nope, that's good. Oh, pretty easy. None of them are fighting me today. There you go. The keeper has a mark in it now too. Someone's not going to like that. Just watch. Alright. Okay, so now we have our heads all done. So there's what it looks like. All buttoned up. There you go. How big that exhaust port is in there now. So anyway, that's what you're looking for. Nice set of heads all done up. Brand new heads all done up. So anyway, next thing I do is play with the intake manifold. I'm going to have to make me a holding fixture to do that. I've done a couple of them before by trying to hold on these things in weird places. It just doesn't work, so I'm going to have to make me a holding fixture. So it'll take me a day or so to do that. So we'll get back to porting on that here in a little while. But for now, the heads are done. So there you go. Screaming Eagle 110 twin cam heads. There's how they're made. Alright, that's it for now.